Someone says you must get lonely, and I think, nope, not even close. I'm out here walking the dogs on this path, and if I come to a split in the trail, I can choose to go left, or I can choose to go right. I don't need to have a conversation with anyone. No asking for permission. No, what do you think? I can just choose left or right. My choice. And honestly, for me, that's not sadness. That's just being in charge of my own day. I think people get alone and lonely mixed up, and they aren't the same thing. Loneliness is when you're in a room full of people and still feel like you don't belong. Being alone, solitude, is when you're on your own and you feel fine, just like now. Quite frankly, it's something you don't really value until you realise you've got less time in front of you than you used to have. Going out and being social has always been about putting on a face. You have to watch your volume. You pick your words. You sit through the same stories that you've heard a dozen times before. At 65, I'm done with that. Every fake laugh or polite nod costs me energy. When you've only got so much in the tank, stop wasting it on people who aren't really listening anyway. But here's the trap that I think people fall into in retirement. Others see an empty calendar and think that it belongs to them. They think, oh, Dave's retired. He's got time to help me with this or that. And they're right. I have time. But it's my time. I spent 45 years at someone else's beck and call. The army, then the job. Retirement isn't about being any more available for everyone else's errands. It's about finally being able to say, no, I'm busy doing what I want to do. And this, I guess, all goes back to making my own path. If I want to go somewhere, I go. Of course you're welcome to come along. But if you don't, that's okay, I'm still going. I'm not waiting for everyone to agree anymore. I'm not checking the room to see if everyone is happy with the plan. Being able to move without needing someone to hold your hand, that's when you know you finally own your life. Now, if this makes sense to you, and if you're tired of being around everybody and being available to them, then stick around. Hit the subscribe button. I'm building a group here of people who are taking their time back. And that hype button down below the 3 little dots, if you hit that, it just helps us reach more people who need to hear this. So here's the real secret. I do my best thinking when I'm alone. My best decisions don't happen sitting in the living room in front of the TV. They happen when I'm out here walking. When you're out on the track, your brain starts throwing up things you'd never even think of otherwise. Random things. For example, the other day, I'm out walking, I'm watching the dogs, and I think, how can they run for miles and I'm out of puff? Even in my prime, I couldn't keep up with that. So I'm there in the middle of the woods, Googling dog physiology to find the answer. You don't get that kind of curiosity or clarity when you're distracted by noise. You need the silence to actually see things clearly. So not letting standards slip isn't empty. It's about not letting your standards slip just because no one is watching. It's about taking responsibility for who you're going to be in 10 years by deciding who you are today. And you can't do that if the room is always full of other people's expectations. So being alone, it's not about being miserable. It's about clarity. It's about having enough space to figure out how you're going to spend the time you have left. Watch the video at the top of this screen. That's where I talk about why slowing down is the worst decision you can make. The walk doesn't care how far you go. Just go. And whatever you do next, as ever, don't slow down.